Good Monday afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to another video. And it's been a while, but I got some explaining to do. So, literally about like a couple weeks ago, I filmed my August book haul and my Halloween 4 movie review. Those two videos are up now, but I had a hard time actually uploading them to YouTube, so I played around with them yesterday, and now they are both on my channel, so you can enjoy those. But today, after many weeks, I'm finally going to bring you the 18 movies I watched in August. So this has been like one of my favorite videos to film per month. So without making this video way too long, let's get started. And I know August has been a while, but the first movie I watched was the original Jeepers Creepers. So this is Walmart special edition bind up of the first two, and if I remember correctly, I think the last movie I watched in July was Jeepers Creepers 2, so I just put on the original. And in this one, this is about like a brother and sister on their way home during like spring break or something. It's not really explained, but they're on like a cross-country road trip, and they start getting stalked by this mysterious man in a beat-up truck. So this is a rollicking, good creature feature, and you never know what this thing is until like the very end. And this stars Justin Long and Gina Phillips. Okay, it said so on the back. But I really do like these characters. Of course, Justin Long isn't really the brightest dude in horror. I mean, he like literally goes down this tunnel and discovers his lair. But I really do enjoy the original. I just kind of like the second one a little bit better. Never did care for the third one, and they actually have Jeepers Creepers Reborn coming out, so I'm hoping to see that really soon. But first movie I watched in August was Jeepers Creepers. Next movie was a rewatch of Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. And this is the second movie in Phase 4. And this is about a man who lives in San Francisco. And it gets like this message from his long-lost sister that his father is becoming all-powerful. So he tries to find the 10 rings and defeat him. Really enjoyable movie. It's definitely one of the best of Phase 4, because Phase 4, in my opinion, is kind of in the middle for me, because you do have some solid entries with Black Widow, this, Spider-Man No Way Home, and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I would say the two that I really don't like as much is Eternals and Thor Love and Thunder. But I would rewatch Thor Love and Thunder before I ever rewatch Eternals, because that movie is really boring. I'm ranting, but anyway, I really do like this one. It's very diverse and very different, and it was definitely fun rewatching it. But that was Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. The next movie I watched was the first movie I watched in theaters in August, and that was Bullet Train. This was one of my all-time favorite action movies of the summer, and that stars like Brad Pitt and a whole group of assassins, or are they hitmen, and they all meet on this bullet train in Japan, and Brad Pitt is codenamed Ladybug because he might not have the best look, but luck is always on his side. So he just fights to survive this whole chaotic mess, and it is a fun time. I actually have a dual review on Bullet Train and Prey on my channel, so if you want my full thoughts on those movies, check it out. But continuing on, the next movie I watched after that was Prey. And this was released directly to Hulu, and this is a Predator prequel that is set in like the 1700s with the Comanche people, and the main character you want to focus on is like this Comanche girl, and she wants to become like the ultimate warrior, so she tries to find like her greatest prey. Turns out the Predator is her prey, so she finds a way to survive and kills it. Really, really good prequel. So I highly recommend Prey. But moving on, the next movie I watched was a first for me. I've never seen this movie, and that was Rain Man. So this movie came out in 1988, and it won the Best Picture of the 1989 Oscars. It stars Tom Cruise and Dustin Hoffman. Tom Cruise is kind of like this big shot who doesn't know that he has like a mentally challenged brother. Well, he's got like autism, and turns out Dustin Hoffman is like very, very good with numbers. So they start to like become friends, and they also take a trip to Vegas, and they win. Well, actually, they don't win a lot of money because Dustin Hoffman thinks that he's good with numbers, but he actually makes Tom Cruise lose a lot of money. I really did enjoy this movie, but it would kind of be a hard one to rewatch because I think it's just okay. But that was Rain Man. And the next movie I watched was a very good sci-fi action classic, and that was Predator. So I watched this movie years and years ago, but I rewatched it for the first time last month, and I gotta say, this might be one of the best action movies of all time. And this is about like a group of mercenaries in the South American jungle. I want to say they're in like Colombia. I'm not really sure, but they're like on the trail of like this drug trade. But the Predator is gonna come in and hunt them one by one. Very, very good movie. And not to mention, it's very quotable. And I just have a blast with this one. I really want to watch it again. So, really, really love this movie. That was Predator. Next movie was the start of my Halloween run through, and Halloween 1978. There's no introduction. This is about Michael Myers, which is an escaped psychiatric patient who is on the hunt for his sister. And the legend goes, in 1963, at 6 years old, he killed his sister in cold blood. And he's been locked up in an institution for 15 years. He's now 21, so he hunts Laurie Strode. One of my all-time favorite horror movies, and one of the best original horror movies. That was John Carpenter's Halloween. And like I said before, I do have the first 4 reviews on my channel already, so if you want to see my complete thoughts on the movies thus far, check them out. But I will tell you something pertaining to the Halloween series at the end of this video, so stay tuned. But moving on, the next movie was Halloween 2, 1981. And this is the direct sequel to the original, and in my opinion, one of the best sequels out of the original franchise. I mean, it's pretty much one big movie if you watch the first one and the second one. And this is where Laurie Strode is in a hospital and Michael Myers hunts her down again. And it's got one of my favorite deaths in the entire series, where a nurse gets boiled to death in a hydrotherapy pool. Very good sequel, and I definitely would watch it over and over again. So that was Halloween 2. And the next movie I watched was the second movie I watched in theaters, and that was Beast. This is the new Idris Elba-led action thriller. Well, it's more of like a survival movie. And this is about Idris Elba and his kids on an African safari. But there were a bunch of poachers at the beginning of the film that murdered an entire pride of lions. So there was one rogue lion on the loose. And that is the exact movie you get. So this is a creature survival story. Really enjoyed this movie. And I would definitely rewatch this again whenever it comes out. But that was Beast with Idris Elba. The next movie was Slumber Party Massacre 2. Yeah. And this movie was weird. This is about like a group of women who go to like a cabin or something, but they are hunted by this punk rocker with a drill head on his guitar. Sounds very metal, but this movie is just not good. But kind of has like a musical aspect to it, because he's kind of like a greaser in a way. But this was just really dumb. And it was one of those movies that I watched on Tubi. So moving on, the next movie I watched was a better horror movie. That was Orphan First Kill. Yeah, if you didn't know, there was a prequel to Orphan that came out directly to Paramount Plus. And this is, of course, Esther's story before the events in Orphan 2009. And she's just like this 33-year-old woman, if I'm not mistaken, with like a weird glandular disease where she just looks like a kid. So she just acts like a kid, and she like goes through all these families and kills them. This one had a great twist though, because the family are the psychopaths, and she fights to survive. And I really did enjoy this movie. It's not very often that I enjoy prequels, but this was one of the better ones. That was Orphan First Kill. Next one was probably one of the worst movies that I watched. Even worse than Slumber Party Massacre 2, in my opinion. But that was Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. And Halloween got weird after Halloween 2, I will tell you that. But this has nothing to do with Michael Myers. And they wanted to do like an anthology series for Halloween. But this movie bombed so bad that this is the only entry we got. But in this one, it's about like this doctor trying to survive a scheme from Silver Shamrock, which is this company that sells novelty Halloween masks, and whoever wears it dies horrifically. I will say some of the deaths in here are over the top and gory, and those are the best parts. But this movie's just weird, man. It felt like a very sick fever dream, and I had no idea what I was watching. But you'll see my review on the channel if you want to. So, really didn't care for this movie. I know there are some horror heads out there that love this movie, but I just didn't feel it. But that was Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. The next movie is a rewatch of Ambulance. And I know I had this in my movies I watched in April video, but I rewatched this with my mom and sister, and it's about this group of, it's about these two brothers that are like bank robbers, and they take an ambulance hostage. It's literally all to it. It's a high octane Michael Bay film. It's one of his better ones in my opinion, and I do have fun with this movie, so I definitely recommend it. That was Ambulance. I have 5 more movies to talk about, and the final movie I watched in theaters in August, well, last month, was The Invitation. And this is a new gothic vampire romance about like this girl who like lives in New York, and her cousin from England comes to invite her to like a wedding or something. But it turns out the lord of the house is the one getting married, and he's like the master. So it's kind of got a little bit of Dracula vibes, because you do have his 2 brides, But this movie takes a while to get into. I mean, you don't even have any of the vampire action until about like an hour and 10 minutes into the film. You still have 20 minutes left. So most of this movie is just like a gothic romance. But it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. But I just probably wouldn't rewatch it. But that was The Invitation. And the next three movies are childhood classics of mine, and they're all sports movies. Starting with Remember the Titans. This movie was released in 2000. Yeah, 22 years ago. Can't even believe that. But this stars Denzel Washington and Will Patton and a bunch of other people. I mean, you have like Ethan Suplee. You have Ryan Gosling's in this movie. And yeah. But Denzel Washington is like a new football coach who stops at nothing to have a perfect season. And there's a lot of racial tension in this movie. And it's basically like a movie about like togetherness and unity towards black and white people in the 70s. I love this movie. I will put it on as a feel-good movie anytime. And of course it's got like a very tragic ending with the death of Gary Bertier. And I just really enjoy this movie very much. Not only it's one of my favorite Disney movies, it's my favorite sports movie of all time. That was Remember the Titans. The next movie I watched was Varsity Blues. Not quite as good as Remember the Titans, but this is a little more raunchier, and it's got like that it's got that MTV flair, of course, with like James Van Der Beek, Ali Larter, Scott Kahn. You have John Voight in here, and this is just about like a team in East Texas that has like this sadistic coach who doesn't like the team at all, but James Van Der Beek, who is a new quarterback that took over Paul Walker, he becomes the leader of this team and stops at nothing to win. He doesn't want anything to do with John Voight. And I do have to say, this is a really, really good movie. It's more of like a dramedy, but it definitely has some good nostalgic vibes for me. That was Varsity Blues. Two more movies. The next movie I watched was Cool Runnings. Another classic Disney sports film about the 1988 Jamaican bobsled team and Canada. I think they were in Calgary, but this is about this ragtag team of Jamaicans who want to become a part of the Olympics. They were going to be a part of track and field, but they just didn't make it. So they find bobsledding, one of the most dangerous winter sports in the Olympics. But they go there and they get heckled. But at the end, they triumph in a way, but they don't win anything because they actually wipe out on the track. This is a really fun and inspirational movie, and it's definitely on there for favorite sports movies. And this leads me to the final movie of August, and that was Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. One of the best sequels in the original franchise, but the ending gets tarnished in Halloween 5. This takes place 10 years after the 1978 events, and you are introduced to Jamie Lloyd, which is Laurie Strode's daughter. So, she is the niece of Michael Myers, and she is with the Carruthers family. You have Rachel in here, which is another one of my favorite final girls that doesn't get talked about a lot. And of course, you have the chaos of Michael Myers. So I really do enjoy this sequel, and you'll see my full thoughts on this movie. So take a look. And those are the 18 movies I watched in August. Sorry it took so long, but I should be back online to film more videos coming very soon. And tomorrow, I watched Halloween 5, 6, 7, and 8. So, I decided I'm just going to do like a compilation of all 4 and talk about all 4. So, look forward to that video. And, God, we're getting close to October, so I have quite a few videos planned for that. Just look forward to more content, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios. Peace.